What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Mods and Xeno show. If you're new here, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If you ain't new here, I'm just gonna ask you to do the same damn thing. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded. It's been about a year and some change, and I've just been busy, man. It's been living life and doing different things. But today we're going to be talking about Superman 2025. There's a lot to unpack with this movie, but I'm gonna start off with the bad first, and then I'll end with the good. Try to end on a high note. But the first thing I'm gonna talk about that I did not like about this movie is the fighting choreography and the fight scenes. I think they're terrible. I feel like people forgot what we had with Man of Steel, because that should be the fucking standard when it comes to like fighting choreography or high-powered fighting choreography with characters like Superman. And this movie, it looks like a TV show, like the CW or something. I just can't. I've really tried to love it. I really tried to love the fighting choreography in this movie, but over time I just lied to myself. Like it should look like some Dragon Ball Z type of like fighting. The power display. You know, we're going to do a reaction to the fight between Superman and Ultraman, and then after I'm gonna do a reaction to Man of Steel with Superman versus Zod. The volume is real low. Alright.
Stronger.
I mean, the heat vision looks cool, but look at that. Looks like he's on ropes.
6K. 9A.
Terrible. When they landed into that little pillar right there, or grate, they should have with Superman's powers, they should have blasted right through that and landed into that concrete behind that and caused like all types of shockwaves and stuff. This shit, man. Another thing too, the suit is absolute shit. I'm sorry. That's another thing I tried to get behind too, but I don't believe the punches. Look at that. It's trash, bro. It's not good. I don't believe it. I mean, the heat vision looks cool. That nigga Lex is going crazy, ain't he? It looks cartoony. I think James loves Superman doing that little spinning move, don't he? I think he did it about 3 times in this movie. I think he's supposed to be aura farming right there.
Kill him. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Alright, so in real life, or not in real life because these characters are fake, but if Superman is like, I know he doesn't kill and he pulls his punches with humans, that doesn't look like he was pulling shit. That looked like he punched him as hard as he could, or at least wasn't holding back. if Superman punched somebody like that, this would have been like something off The Boys, where that dude's face would have fucking blew towards the screen or been blown off just by that punch alone. And I mean, this part looks pretty cool. I'll give him that. That looks cool. I'll give you that. I think I love that spinning move in this movie. I swear he had Superman do that spinning move like 5 times and shit. Alright. That's enough of this shit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to make it seem like I actually hate this movie, because I don't hate the movie. I actually like the movie. I just think the fight choreography and the suit, Superman suit sucks, and the Justice Gang suit sucks, except for Mr. Terrific. It looks like James took the design of Mr. Terrific and tried to give that to the rest of the Justice Gang. Like, bitch, why can't you give fucking Guy Gardner his Green Lantern suit that he gets from Oa or from the Ring? Why can't you give Hawkgirl her own suit and give them something? Man, sometimes the decision-making processes with these like companies and movies and these studios are just, it's ridiculous. It's foolery. It's foolish. It's really foolish. All right, so this is the Man of Steel, Superman versus Zod. Now, remember what we just watched, compared to this, and look how beautiful this shit looks. Because people act like they fucking forgot. People are over at Holland Battle Online. Oh my god, this is the best Superman movie we've ever gotten. No, it's good. It's good. If there was some way we could like mash Man of Steel and Superman 2025 together, it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. But I guess we don't live in that reality, huh? All right, let's continue. Kneel before Zod. Fucking badass. And then they got the speed and the flight right. I mean, like, bruh, come on now. Like, that's the standard. Everybody copies that now. Everybody copies that. Invincible, the Injustice game, and the Injustice movie. What else? What else? Because I know there's more. But I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. But everybody copies that move, because that is the standard of how this shit should look. I guess they're trying to be different, I guess, in the Superman movie, but you can still be different and have a better display of power. It just fucking sucks. This shit pisses me off, because like, you had all this money, but where'd it go? In that fucking shit suit that you made? That suit looks like somebody at SDCC made that shit. Or somebody put that shit together at Party City and then went out to a Halloween party. That's what that fucking Superman suit looks like. Like I said, I like the colors. I like the cape. I like the S on the back of the cape. I like the S on the front. Everything else fucking sucks. Oh, and I kind of dig what they were trying to do with the collar and stuff like that, but it should have been more, I think, New 52-ish. But anyway, let's get back to it. Look at that. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Cape flapping and all that shit. Oh yeah, and people are dying, by the way. Look at that shockwave. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Looked like he threw him through 6 buildings. going out into space. Knocking satellites out into the atmosphere. This is what it should have looked like between the fight between Ultraman. Not that fucking stadium bullshit we got. Superman doing another spinning move and shit, holding on to Engineer's arm. Him getting nanotechnology in his head. I mean, you can do that, cool, but make it look better. Smacked his head into the ground. Yeah, that's all I wanted to really get into. But yeah. I mean, the fighting choreography in Superman sucks, and I just want to remind people of what we had before because everybody acts like they fucking forgot. I don't like the display of Superman's speed and his power. His flight scenes. There's only 2 flight scenes I like in Superman, and that's the opening when he's flying through the Arctic with the theme song. I find myself whistling that theme song sometimes too, so it's a pretty good theme, but it ain't touching Man of Steel. The flight scene when Superman figured out that Lex kidnapped Krypto, and he's going really fast through the atmosphere, and you see all the ice and clouds brushing past his face and his eyebrows and stuff. Just the little details like that I think is really good. Those are the 2 best flight scenes in this movie, in Superman. Man of Steel just captured it how it would be if being Superman, you know, the way he flies, the way he takes off into the air. The first flight scene in Man of Steel, when he takes off, he puts a shockwave. There's a shockwave that comes off of him, and there's a big ass crater in the ground from him taking off. Like, I believed how powerful this guy was. Henry Cavill Superman is probably the most powerful version of Superman we've ever got on screen, I think. People would probably say Christopher Reeve Superman, but I don't think so. I didn't really. That's for a different time, really. I didn't really care for him flying around the Earth and turning back time. That shit was stupid to me. That's a Superman power I don't think we've ever seen, even in the comics. It might have been in the comics. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've ever seen that in the comics. That's something they made up for that movie. It's a different time for that movie for sure. But Henry Cavill Superman is probably the most powerful. I mean, in BVS there was a newspaper that was pinned on a wall, and it said that Superman prevented an earthquake by shifting a tectonic plate. You know how fucking powerful that is? that is insane levels of power. Henry Cavill Superman could probably pick up California, for real. That's how fucking strong he is. And then when Steppenwolf slammed his axe on his shoulder, and Superman was like, not impressed. That's fucking hard. That's hard as fuck. That's what I'm saying. Zack understood. He didn't understand. Zack can't write a story for shit. But when it comes to fight scenes and the display of power, he's your guy to go to, for sure. For sure. Like, the best fight scenes we ever gotten in the DCU was the ones that Zack directed himself. That Batman warehouse scene in BVS is the best Batman movie we've ever had, or at least the best Batman fight scene we've ever had. All that shit that Christopher Nolan was doing in the Batman fight scenes, it was dog water. I mean, the fight with Bane in The Dark Knight Rises was pretty entertaining. But what kind of martial arts was that? That shit was made up martial arts fight choreography. I don't know what the hell they was doing with that. It was still Christopher Nolan. That's how talented he is. He could have shit fight choreography and make you fucking believe it. That's how good his movies are. Once you sit back and actually thinking about it, you're like, all right, yeah, this shit was actually kind of stupid, but it's a good damn movie. Dark Knight is probably one of the, it's probably, if not the best, probably one of the best superhero movies ever made, next to Infinity War. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for everything I hated about this movie, Superman 2025. I just think it was a waste of potential with certain points that completely takes me out of it, because I think the story is good. I think the story is really good, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into that right now. I'm gonna talk about the things that I did enjoy about this movie. The first thing that I enjoyed about this movie, and I'm just gonna say the story. The story is really good. James Gunn can write and direct his motherfucking ass off. But when it comes to certain, like I said before, when it comes to certain high-powered fight scenes, he needs to get somebody else in the fight choreography chair. Because that fight choreography was, I can't stress that shit enough. I think David is really solid as Superman. This is a good start off point for his version of the character. This is the most human and emotional Superman we've ever had in live action, and relatable too. Like, this is somebody you could possibly like hang out with. You know, he could be like your best friend. And I like how they did that with his character in this movie. When he's in his Clark mode, he's kind of slunched over. He's wearing baggier clothes. He's got the thick hypno glasses, which I think is perfect. I really enjoyed it. I really like they put this in this movie, because I always hated the fact that Superman wore glasses and nobody knew who he was. But in this movie, it explains that he wears the hypno glasses. I've always wanted them to do that. I'm glad they put that in this movie. See, he does smart shit. Zach and James, they do smart shit, but it's just like, why did you do that? Zach, why did you cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor? Why did you let Superman leave his Fortress of Solitude in the fucking middle of the city just to let humans experiment on it and shit? James, why isn't your Superman fight choreography better? Why is the Superman suit baggy and look like shit? James is saying stuff, I didn't want the Superman suit to be fully skin tight. I wanted it to be a little loose. Why? What fucking version of Superman had a baggy suit? Superman always showed off his muscles and definition, and was still a nice guy. He was still an approachable guy. What are you, scared or something? You think people are going to get offended by Superman being built and having a... I just don't understand the thought processes behind certain stuff. It's really aggravating. And look, it looks like I'm hating, and I am. I'm hating on certain parts, because it's almost perfect to me. I give this movie probably about a... If I had to rate Superman, the fight scenes are so bad to me, I had to knock it down to a C+. I'd give it a 75%. And that's being nice. That's being nice with the suits. The suits could knock it down for me to a good 70, but everything else is good to me. It's just the suits, the fighting choreography, that knocks it down for that much to me. Anyway, I keep jumping back and forth. Lois is really good. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois is solid. I want to see more of her in the future. I want to see more of all these characters in the future. David, Lois, Lex. I really liked Lex. He's not my definitive version of Lex yet. I think after seeing more stuff of him in multiple movies or TV shows, I think he could eventually evolve into my favorite version of Lex. I think everybody's favorite version of the live action Lex is probably Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, because he's mine right now. And I think I think you probably know who my least favorite version of Lex is. Fucking Jesse Eisenberg. I don't know what the fuck they were doing with that shit. Fucking what the fuck was that? What are you doing? Are you retarded? Yeah, I want to see more of Lex. He was Lex in this movie. He was a motherfucker in this movie, wasn't he? willing to destroy everything just to kill Superman. He was willing to break the city in half. I mean, it's a good thing they evacuated the city, because they'd have to answer for all the destruction and deaths, just like how Man of Steel did. Because in Man of Steel, and that fight at the end of the movie, people were dying. Thousands died, for sure. And they mentioned it in BVS. But in this movie, they evacuated the city before Lex could have his little pocket dimension tear half the city in half. But yeah, Lex is really good. He's hater of the year. He hates Superman more than niggas hate Donald Trump. Now, I'm not political or anything. I'm just saying. I'm just talking about the times and stuff now. But yeah, he's definitely hater of the year. Mr. Terrific, I like Mr. Terrific a lot. I want to see more of him. I want to see him in like another movie or a TV show. We've got some secret DC projects coming out in the next few years, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna have something with him in there. It needs to have something with him in there, because he was the highlight of the movie for me. He has the best fight scene in the movie. I don't need your help. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific. That's one of the best lines in the movie. Yeah, Eddie Gathegi, I want to see more of him. He was probably my favorite character in the movie. Crypto, I liked Crypto. He's pretty cool. I wasn't too sure about him at first being in the movie and how they were going to use him, because it just seemed kind of corny. And now, like, James is very good at making, you care about, animals in his movies and stuff. Which I'm a dog lover anyway, so if you have a rowdy puppy, you know how it is to have like a little rowdy puppy tearing shit up. So I could relate to that a lot. But my dog wasn't as bad as Crypto. Crypto is just he's a scoundrel. And now he gets that shit from his owner, Supergirl, and you see why he's so misbehaved at the end of the movie. I mean, even Superman said it. He was like, I mean, this is why he's so misbehaved. I mean, look at that shit. He's over jumping on Supergirl, punching her in the ground and shit. And that's the reason why. And I can't wait to see her movie next year, because it's gonna have Jason Momoa as Lobo. Thank God. This is the perfect role for him. I kind of thought he was miscast as Superman, or not as Superman. Sorry, as Aquaman. He did what he was supposed to do for that role at that time, but he looks more like Lobo. If you don't know who Lobo is, do a quick YouTube search or a Google search, and you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's Jason to a T. He was born to play that role. There's only a few actors in the world that are born to play certain roles. Jason being Lobo, and Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Like these guys were born to play those roles. Yeah, I can't wait to see Supergirl next year. The Daily Planet, I already talked about them, really kinda. I want to see more of them in the Superman movie future. I really like, Wendell Pierce as Perry White. He wasn't in the movie that much, but Wendell Pierce is a legend, and I just want to see more of him, yelling at Clark to, do some reports or write some papers or something like that. Jimmy Olsen was pretty funny. I'm trying to figure out how the fuck he had all this riz, and where that even came from. All the girls was all over this man in this movie. He stole Lex Luthor's girl. Had her destroy that whole man's operation just to get with that man. I guess he got it like that. Jimmy got it like that in this movie, for real. Even Lois is like, how the fuck are you doing this shit? And I don't know who that blonde chick was, Cat Grant, but she was bad. I don't know who that actress is, but she's bad as shit. I want to see more of her in the future. Ma and Pa Kent, I enjoyed Ma and Pa Kent a lot. People were mad at mad at James because they were saying that he made them like stupid hicks, but I didn't think so. I thought, if you're from like certain areas like that, then you know that's exactly how it would look or how they would sound. They're from the country in Kansas, Smallville, Kansas, and then that's how they would sound. Don't be a stranger. They live out in the country. They're a middle class farm family. What the fuck you think they're gonna sound like? And I like that detail. Another thing I like about this movie is the fact that the Kryptonians speak a different language. They're not speaking English or have British accents and shit. If they were aliens, yes, they would speak a different language, or they would, communicate through telepathy at least. And he had to decipher it. And that's another thing too. Like I'm glad that they kept Pa Kent around, because he was able to bring Clark, back down to Earth. And because Clark was stressing over when he figured out what that second half of that message was, wasn't he? He was going through a mild depression. And Pa Kent had to bring him back down to reality and was like, your choices are what make you who you are. You don't have to be what your parents want you to be. You could be whatever you want to be. And he needed that motivation to go out there and, put his fucking boots back on, those fucking big ass Party City boots, and go and do what he got to do. And save the city and knock Lex's bald ass out. So I'm glad they kept Ma and Pa Kent around. That was a good addition. And that brings me back to Jor-El. I liked Jor-El's message. I like that they changed it up a little bit. Usually Jor-El is on the same frequency as Pa Kent, trying to have Superman save the world and stuff. But in this movie, they were like, no. Take over the planet, fuck all the women you want, and have as many kids as you want, and kill anybody that opposes your rule. That's basically what they were saying. Basically. And they were talking shit about humans. They were saying the humans are spiritually unevolved and mentally weak. And I was like, shit. The Kryptonians don't fuck with humans at all. I can't wait to see what Zod looks like in this movie. Not in this movie, but in the future. I don't think they're probably going to use Zod. They're probably going to be using Brainiac or something like that. Yeah, I enjoyed Jor-El's message, and I didn't have a problem with it. They're going to have to address that in Supergirl, because why didn't she tell Clark, or translate to Clark what if she knew, which I don't know. If she knew, then it's kind of just like, why didn't you fucking tell me this shit beforehand? Why you let me go around thinking this is what they really wanted when they wanted me to take over the planet, and they had, nefarious intentions for me. They're gonna have to explain that in Supergirl in some type of way, or address it in like something, because they set that up in this universe, and that's how Jor-El's parents wanted Super Clark to be. And if Kara didn't know about that, okay, but if she knew about it and didn't say nothing, that kind of makes her a villain, don't it? I don't know. They're gonna have to address it. I enjoy Superman's heat vision and his cold breath. His heat vision looks like a intense laser beam that can cut through just about anything. But Henry Cavill's Superman, his heat vision looked like an intense ray of fucking sunlight heat, like a heat blast, like a big ass, like a fucking, I don't know. It just looks stronger. It was cutting and destroying everything. This version of Superman is strong. He's strong. Don't get me wrong. He's strong. But it's the way it's shot and displayed by James. It comes off cartoony and childish and weak and soft as fuck. Even his suit is soft. It's baggy and soft. It doesn't have no definition for him unless he's in certain angles or certain movements. That's when you can see a little bit of his muscles and stuff. Like the fucking lines and shit, and I just don't understand. I'm getting off track again. The cold breath, I enjoyed the cold breath. He only used it twice in this movie. Once to save that little dog from getting crushed by that kaiju foot, and that kaiju looked like doo-doo anyway too. That's another thing. Big cartoony fucking kaiju. Superman couldn't even fucking punch without knocking it out. Henry Cavill Superman would have punched that thing as hard as he could and knocked it the fuck out, and then picked it up and took it out into space. This version of Superman act like he couldn't hold a foot up without getting crushed into the ground. Henry Cavill Superman would have pushed that fucking foot up and punched it and had that damn kaiju flying back a little bit. I don't know if he would have saved the people, because Henry Cavill Superman was all about aura farming like a motherfucker. and then just standing there and watching shit get destroyed. Like that one part when he was fighting with Zod, and Zod kicked that oil tanker at him, and Superman was just standing there just looking at it while everything was blowing up. I'm like, nigga, fucking use your heat breath. Or not heat breath, but cold breath. Cool that shit down. Motherfuckers are dying. But I know he's in the midst of a fight, so he's new as Superman. He doesn't know exactly what to do yet. Sometimes you gotta think fast. Do something. Do fucking something. We only seen Henry Cavill Superman's cold breath once. And that was in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He only used a little bit of it just to blow out a little cold. Pew. And fucking, it was strong though. It got rid of Steppenwolf's axe like a motherfucker. I'll give you that. So I just wish we could have seen more of it. But yeah, I mean, the cold breath was pretty cool in this movie. The strongest feat I think Superman has in Superman 2025 is him in an anti-proton river. That shit should have fucking destroyed it, disintegrated his whole body. That shows durability, extreme durability. And him being able to use his cold breath to push out of the black hole, and he was weakened by kryptonite at the time. That's pretty strong. That's strong as shit. So it's just, I'm really like particular about power scaling, as you can tell. And if it isn't done right, it's gonna make me mad. It's gonna make me fucking mad. Because you have all this money. $200 million I think was wasted on this movie, and it looks like this. Let me direct the fighting choreography. Look, let me direct that shit. The Fortress of Solitude, I'm glad they had the Fortress of Solitude in this movie. I like how it spins around and comes out of the ground. I've already talked about what I thought about Man of Steel's Fortress of Solitude, how that was a stupid ass fucking decision, how Superman left that shit in the middle of the city and let humans experiment on it. That was bullshit to me. I always thought Henry's Superman should have had a Fortress of Solitude. At least his version of it. And I'm glad they brought that back. It reminded me of All-Star Superman with this movie, which this movie's based off of. I guess that's why James wanted that fucking baggy suit. That's the only like iteration of Superman that has somewhat of a baggy suit. I mean, it looks like it's baggy because of the way it's drawn, but I don't think it's really that. I don't know. Sometimes, you can't always bring what's in the comic onto the live action screen and think it's going to look good. You have to change it up, because this is the worst Superman suit we've had on screen to me. It's the worst one. I really try to give it a chance. If you look at my videos from last year and I was talking about the set photos and stuff, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe in post-production they'll clean it up a little bit. Nope. It's still fucking loose and baggy. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off so much because there's so much potential and you just throw it out the fucking window. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it that I enjoyed about this movie. Like I said, overall I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. But there's just certain points. I enjoyed it overall. But there's just certain points in this movie that's just like, why the fuck did y'all do that? Why does this look like this? This looks like the fucking CW. That's what those fight scenes look like. They look like the CW. They look like something off Flash season 5 or 4, or the crossover events with Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow and all that shit when they're in with Supergirl and all that bullshit. That's what the fuck those fight scenes look like. And it's terrible. But like I said before, if I had to rate this movie, I'd give it a 75 out of 100 grade. It's a decent start for the new DCU. I haven't started watching Peacemaker yet. I think I'll get into that a little bit later. I'm gonna wait till all the episodes come out, because I don't want to wait week by week just to watch one episode. I'd rather binge it all at once. So I'm not gonna watch Peacemaker right now. I'm gonna wait, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers as much as I can with that show. So don't send me anything, please. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this. If you're new here, like I said before, please support your boy. hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If you aren't new here, I'm just gonna ask you to do the same motherfucking thing. And yeah, that's gonna be my review of Superman 2025. I'll catch you wombats later. Peace.